Do you know who the most famous entertainer of the mid-20th century nicknamed Chairman of the Board was? Undoubtedly, this title befits none other than Frank Sinatra. While he has been a profound influence on countless musicians aspiring to emulate his innate charm, charisma, and style, few realize that behind the veil of fame lies a life marked by complexity and profound sorrow. In this video, we will unravel the complete narrative of the poignant journey that Frank traversed, a tale that remains known only to his children. Let's get started. Francis Albert Sinatra, born in the kitchen of his parents' Hoboken, New Jersey apartment, entered the world under dramatic circumstances that nearly cost him his life. Weighing an astonishing 13.5 pounds at birth, young Frank faced immediate challenges. The use of forceps was necessary for his delivery, a process that left him with lasting facial scarring on the left side of his face, neck, and jawline. The situation at Frank's birth was dire. Initially believed to be stillborn, he emerged blue and unresponsive. It was only through the quick thinking and unconventional methods of his grandmother that he was revived. Frank's grandmother took the seemingly lifeless infant, ran him under cold water, and administered a firm slap to his back, miraculously bringing him back to life. The mishaps surrounding Frank's birth continued with a naming misunderstanding. Originally intended to be named Martin after his father, a mix-up during the baptism led to him being named after his godfather, Frank Garrick, instead. Despite the error, Frank's mother decided to keep the name, perhaps weary from the tumultuous start her son had faced. The forceps used during Frank's delivery not only saved his life, but also left him with visible scars that would later become a defining feature. During his adolescence, his peers, noting his facial imperfections, cruelly dubbed him Scarface. This childhood taunt haunted him, shaping his early experiences and contributing to a sense of insecurity about his appearance. Frank's determination to overcome these physical challenges became evident in his adulthood. Throughout his illustrious singing career, he sought to conceal the scars with heavy makeup. Despite his undeniable talent, Frank Sinatra's childhood was marked by a profound sense of loneliness. Born as the only child to Italian immigrants in Hoboken, New Jersey, his parents, Antonino Martino, Marty, and Natalina, Dolly, were highly active and influential figures in their local community. Marty, Frank's father, was a multifaceted individual, owning a local tavern and occasionally stepping into the boxing ring as a part-time prize fighter. Meanwhile, Dolly, Frank's mother, served as a midwife and, as reported by the Irish Times, was known to assist women in desperate situations by providing illegal abortions. Beyond her role in healthcare, Dolly was also deeply engaged in local politics, eventually achieving the position of Democratic ward leader in their neighborhood. The demanding nature of his parents' occupations and community involvement meant that they were frequently away from home. This left young Frank to navigate the challenges of childhood largely on his own or in the company of his grandmother. While other children in his predominantly Italian neighborhood typically came from large families, Frank's status as an only child was considered quite unusual. In a later interview with journalist Pete Hamill, as reported by VQR, Sinatra revealed the yearning he felt for companionship during his childhood. He expressed a desire for siblings, stating, "I used to wish I had an older brother who could help me when I needed him. I wished I had a younger sister I could protect." This admission sheds light on the emotional complexities of Sinatra's early years, revealing a longing for familial bonds that were absent in his life. Frank Sinatra's journey to achieving the fame and success he craved was far from easy, marked by parental skepticism and initial challenges. His parents, particularly his father Marty Sinatra, did not initially support his aspirations of becoming a professional singer, dismissing it as nothing more than a cute little hobby. Marty, envisioning a more conventional path for his son, wanted Frank to attend the Stevens Institute of Technology and secure a stable job. Despite these early obstacles, Dolly Sinatra, Frank's mother, eventually recognized her son's talent and ambition. As noted by VQR, she became a supportive force in his life, going beyond mere encouragement. Dolly took active steps to nurture Frank's musical pursuits, providing him with essential resources such as sound equipment and sheet music. Leveraging her connections in local politics, she used her influence to secure singing gigs for him, illustrating a mother's determination to help her son achieve his dreams. Dolly's efforts even extended to securing a spot for Frank with the local singing group, the Hoboken Four, a crucial step that set him on the path to professional recognition. However, it soon became apparent that Sinatra was the standout member of the group, driven by genuine ambition. Following the disbandment of the Hoboken Four, Frank took on various jobs, including waiting tables, to sustain himself between singing gigs with local dance bands. The turning point in Sinatra's career came in 1940, when he landed a significant opportunity with trumpeter Harry James. This was a stepping stone that led to his biggest break, discovery by renowned bandleader Tommy Dorsey. Dorsey recognized Sinatra's exceptional talent and offered him a more lucrative contract, catapulting him into the spotlight. By 1942, Frank Sinatra's reputation had grown to such an extent that it surpassed even Tommy Dorsey's, prompting Sinatra to pursue a solo singing career and marking the beginning of his legendary status in the music industry. This journey underscores the resilience, determination, and unwavering passion that defined Frank Sinatra's rise to stardom. Frank Sinatra's journey into the realm of professional singing was significantly influenced by his admiration for Bing Crosby, the iconic crooner of his time. During his teenage years, Sinatra was an ardent fan of Crosby, going so far as to have a picture of the celebrity crooner prominently displayed in his bedroom. Crosby's warm, passionate, and laid-back singing style served as the foundation upon which Sinatra built his early vocal techniques, later evolving into his own distinctive and influential musical style. The two legendary singers first crossed paths in 1935 at a Newark club, where the teenage Sinatra had the opportunity to briefly meet his idol. However, their paths diverged for nearly a decade until they would meet again, this time with Sinatra having ascended to stardom in his own right. As the 1940s unfolded, Sinatra's fame soared to unprecedented heights, surpassing even the enduring popularity of Bing Crosby. Sinatra's fan base, composed of enthusiastic teenage Bobby Soxer girls, was a phenomenon that set him apart. In contrast, Crosby, though still popular, did not experience the same level of adoration from hordes of screaming fans. Reports from PBS NewsHour even mention that during Sinatra's early career, his publicist went to the extent of paying teenage girls $5 each to amplify the excitement around the young singer. Crosby, gracious in acknowledging Sinatra's rising star, humorously commented that Sinatra was a singer who comes around once in a lifetime, adding a playful touch by saying, "But why did it have to be my lifetime?" This laid the foundation for a media-fueled rivalry between the two crooners. While their exchanges were often characterized by barbs and insults on public radio broadcasts, it was a rivalry played up for media attention rather than a genuine feud. Over time, the rivalry mellowed, leading to collaborations between the two legends. They would perform duets together and even share the screen in movies like High Society, showcasing a camaraderie that transcended the earlier competitive banter and cementing their places as two of the greatest voices in the history of popular music. While engaging in a good-natured rivalry with Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra was known to feel a deep sense of intimidation when faced with emerging singers who had the potential to challenge his stature. One such instance occurred in the early 1950s, when the rising star Eddie Fisher posed a threat to Sinatra's dominance in the music industry. According to Collider, Sinatra succumbed to a profound depression, fearing that his career might be on the decline. In a strategic move to revitalize his image, Sinatra successfully transitioned into swing music, a shift that ultimately saved his career and allowed him to maintain his prominence in the music scene. Another formidable contender to Sinatra's fame emerged in the form of Jimmy Roselli, often dubbed the Other Sinatra. Born a decade later than Frank, Roselli, like Sinatra, was of Italian-American descent and grew up in the same Hoboken neighborhood. The Guardian notes that Roselli garnered immense popularity, particularly among the Italian-American community, including Sinatra's friends and even his mother, Dolly Sinatra. Notably, Roselli's vocal range was said to surpass that of Sinatra. In an intriguing turn of events, Dolly Sinatra asked Jimmy Roselli to perform at a benefit event. However, when Roselli declined to sing without compensation, Sinatra seized the opportunity to hinder Roselli's career. Using the refusal as a pretext, Sinatra reportedly blackballed Roselli, effectively obstructing his professional trajectory. Frank Sinatra's alleged ties to the Mafia have been a subject of persistent speculation and controversy. While Sinatra consistently denied any direct involvement, historical records, including his FBI profile, suggest a close association with figures connected to organized crime. According to history, Sinatra's FBI profile reads like a comprehensive guide to the Mafia. One notable association was with the infamous Chicago mob boss Sam Giancana and his crew. Sinatra's friendships extended to the Fischetti brothers, Joseph and Charles, who were involved in illegal gambling operations. He was also known to openly socialize with Detroit mobsters Anthony and Vito Giacalone. These connections went beyond mere socializing, as Sinatra was reported to perform shows as favors for his mob associates. In situations where Sinatra sought to escape a contract or address perceived slights, it was rumored that individuals might receive intimidating visits from enforcers, which could potentially lead to violent outcomes. Despite Sinatra's vocal denials of Mafia ties, his public interactions with known mob figures and participation in activities such as gambling, socializing, and financial dealings were not discreet. The FBI kept a watchful eye on Sinatra throughout his career. However, despite his associations and activities, Sinatra was never criminally charged in connection with the Mafia. It's worth noting that Sinatra's full FBI record was not released until after his death, contributing to the enduring mystery surrounding the extent of his involvement with organized crime. The details of his connections and the nature of his interactions with the mob continue to be a topic of fascination and debate among historians and fans alike. Frank Sinatra's association with the Democratic Party, particularly his support for John F. Kennedy, is a notable chapter in his political involvement. The connection between Sinatra and the Kennedys was facilitated through his fellow rat packer, Peter Lawford, who was married to Kennedy's sister, Pat. The specifics of Sinatra and Kennedy's initial meeting remain unknown, but Kennedy was drawn to Sinatra's glamour and rebellious persona, while Sinatra admired the political power and charisma that Kennedy exuded. Sinatra played a key role in introducing Kennedy to his longtime girlfriend, Judith Campbell. When Kennedy announced his candidacy for the presidency, Sinatra wholeheartedly endorsed him and leveraged his star power to rally support. He organized donor dinners, appeared in political radio ads, and even lent Kennedy's aides his private jet. Sinatra's hit song High Hopes became the unofficial theme song of the Kennedy campaign. Speculation circulated that Joseph Kennedy, JFK's father, aimed to capitalize on Sinatra's connections to the mob and labor unions to secure votes. However, the friendship between Kennedy and Sinatra soured after the election. FBI Chief J. Edgar Hoover met with Robert Kennedy, revealing White House recordings of phone calls from Judith Campbell that linked JFK to Chicago mob boss Sam Giancana. Town and Country reports that another wiretap exposed Sinatra's affair with JFK's married sister, Pat. In the recordings, Sinatra made it clear that he was exploiting his relationship with Pat to influence her brothers and divert the government's attention from the activities of his mob associates. Upon learning of these revelations, the Kennedys, including Attorney General Robert Kennedy, decided that Sinatra had become a liability. The fallout from these scandalous revelations marked the end of the close friendship between Sinatra and the Kennedys. The once staunch supporter found himself on the outs with the political family he had so passionately endorsed, revealing the complex intersections between celebrity, politics, and personal relationships. Frank Sinatra's charismatic and romantic voice often belied a temperament marked by a notoriously short fuse and volatile behavior. Instances of his explosive anger and erratic conduct have become legendary in the annals of show business. One incident, as reported by GQ, took place during a show in Hong Kong. A missed light cue served as the trigger for Sinatra's wrath, leading him to destroy not only his dressing room, but also his hotel suite, causing significant damage to priceless antiques in the process. Another outburst occurred when, in a drunken rage, he recklessly drove a golf cart through a shopping mall window. J. Randy Taraborelli's biography, Sinatra Behind the Legend, provides further insight into the singer's tempestuous behavior. In one episode, Sinatra reportedly threw a plate of pasta against the wall in an Italian restaurant, irate over the perceived sogginess of the dish. The New Yorker's review of James Kaplan's biography sheds light on Sinatra's inclination to bully venue employees and lesser-known entertainers. He was known to enlist the help of his mob connections to intimidate or even physically harm individuals he disliked. Sinatra, seemingly harboring a particular disdain for stand-up comedians, may have been driven by personal insecurities and a fear of public humiliation. When comic Shecky Greene made a remark that angered Sinatra, he found himself mobbed by a group of Sinatra's friends. Comedian Jackie Mason, who joked about Sinatra's marriage to the much younger Mia Farrow, received anonymous death threats. According to Vanity Fair, when Mason persisted with Frank Sinatra jokes, shots were fired into his hotel room, and he later suffered physical assault, sustaining injuries to his nose and cheekbones from a stranger. Frank Sinatra's romantic life was marked by numerous relationships, 4 marriages, and a complex reputation for being passionate, yet unfaithful, temperamental, and controlling. His first marriage was to Nancy Barbato, which began in his early 20s. They had 3 children, Nancy, Frank, Jr., and Tina. The marriage ultimately ended due to Sinatra's serial infidelity. Following the divorce, Sinatra entered into a highly publicized marriage with actress Ava Gardner. Their relationship was tumultuous, characterized by explosive public fights and infidelity on both sides. Both Sinatra and Gardner were heavy drinkers, and the instability of their union led to Gardner having 2 reported abortions. After 6 years, they divorced. Sinatra's third marriage was to Mia Farrow, a 21-year-old actress when he was 51. According to the Vintage News, Sinatra insisted that Farrow give up her acting career. Although she initially agreed, Farrow later accepted the lead role in Rosemary's Baby. Sinatra, frustrated with her decision, arranged a small part for her in his movie. However, tensions escalated when the filming of Rosemary's Baby faced delays, and despite Sinatra's demands for her to quit, Farrow remained committed to her role. This defiance led to Sinatra serving her with divorce papers. His fourth and final marriage was to Barbara Marx. After Sinatra's death, Marx spoke to USA Today, describing him as a Jekyll and Hyde husband. She detailed moments of affection and lavish gifts, followed by sudden outbursts of anger and threats. Despite the tumultuous nature of their relationship, this marriage endured until Sinatra's death. Frank Sinatra's life, despite external appearances of success, wealth, and fame, was marked by profound inner struggles and extreme depressive episodes. If he were alive today, It suggested that he might have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Biographer J. Randy Taraborelli characterized Sinatra as an 18-carat manic depressive, describing him as a bipolar, moody, and difficult man whose struggles were exacerbated by heavy drinking and a sense of entitlement warped by his celebrity status. Sinatra's battles with depression were severe, leading him to attempt suicide multiple times. In moments of intense fear regarding the potential decline of his career, Sinatra reportedly turned on the gas and put his head in the oven. Fortunately, his manager intervened in time to prevent a tragedy. Another documented suicide attempt occurred during his tumultuous marriage to Ava Gardner. In the midst of their volatile relationship, Sinatra, grappling with emotional turmoil, resorted to a gun. Gardner, in an effort to prevent harm, attempted to wrestle the pistol away, resulting in a discharged bullet that fortunately missed them both. Despite his public image as a charismatic entertainer and ladies' man, Sinatra struggled with a deep yearning for love and companionship. According to Taraborelli, Sinatra had difficulty understanding how to maintain healthy romantic relationships, often finding himself in a perpetual search for the next best thing. The complex interplay of his emotional highs and lows, combined with personal insecurities, painted a portrait of a man whose internal struggles contrasted sharply with his external success. Frank Sinatra's son, Frank Sinatra Jr., pursued a career in singing, aspiring to follow in his famous father's footsteps. At the age of 19, his career was already underway, marked by budding success. However, he also became the target of a harrowing and high-profile kidnapping incident. On December 8, 1963, Sinatra Jr. was performing at Harrah's Club Lodge in Lake Tahoe. In a chilling turn of events, he was abducted from his dressing room. According to the FBI, two men posing as delivery personnel forced their way into Sinatra Jr.'s dressing room, where they tied up and blindfolded his friend. Subsequently, they abducted the young singer, taking him out through a side door and placing him in a waiting car. Sinatra Jr.'s friend managed to free himself and promptly informed the police. The kidnappers, identified as Barry Keenan, Joe Amsler, and John Irwin, contacted Frank Sinatra Sr., demanding a ransom of $240,000 for the safe return of his son. Collaborating with the FBI, Sinatra Sr. paid the ransom, enabling law enforcement to trace the kidnappers. Irwin, feeling increasingly uneasy, decided to release Sinatra Jr. The police found him in Bel Air after he had walked for miles. The FBI successfully apprehended all three kidnappers and recovered the ransom money. During the trial, the kidnappers' defense attempted to portray Sinatra Jr. as the mastermind behind his own abduction, alleging that he orchestrated it for publicity. However, the FBI's evidence contradicted this claim, affirming that Sinatra Jr. was indeed a victim. The three kidnappers, Keenan, Amsler, and Irwin, were subsequently convicted, and justice was served in the aftermath of this dramatic and terrifying incident in the Sinatra family's history. Frank Sinatra, the legendary entertainer, passed away on May 14, 1998, at the age of 82. He died of a heart attack at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, with his wife Barbara Marx and his three children by his bedside. In the years leading up to his death, Sinatra faced a series of significant health challenges, including heart and respiratory issues, high blood pressure, pneumonia, bladder cancer, and a diagnosis of dementia attributed to Alzheimer's disease. As his health declined, Sinatra appeared to be aware that his time was drawing to a close. His last words to his wife, Barbara, were a poignant acknowledgement of his fate. "I'm losing." In a symbolic gesture reflecting Sinatra's preferences and vices, he was buried with items that held personal significance. Smithsonian reports that his burial included a pack of Camel cigarettes, a bottle of Jack Daniel's whiskey, a Zippo lighter, each representing his favorite brands, and $1 worth of dimes. The news of Sinatra's passing prompted reflections on the magnitude of his influence and impact on 20th century music and culture. In a Rolling Stone interview, singer Bono of U2, who had performed a duet with Sinatra, expressed the sentiment that Sinatra embodied the essence of the 20th century. Describing him as modern, complex, swinging, and possessing attitude, Bono acknowledged the uniqueness of Sinatra's persona and declared that the world wouldn't witness another artist quite like him. What do you think about Frank Sinatra's life? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.